absolutely thrilled to have all of you at our 2023 AMATS annual meeting, and I'm thrilled that you've chosen to join us in beautiful Cuyahoga Falls on this, what looks like, I thought I saw the sun coming out, so it's a great day, and we really are thrilled to be putting on this event for the second straight year after our lean pandemic year, so it's great to have everyone here and see a bunch of friendly faces. AMATS broke a record this year with sponsorship. We received support from 10 great firms to help put on this event. CTL Engineering, DLZ, Envision, Environmental Design Group, Halley's Engineering and Design, GPD Group, Manick and Smith Group, MS Consultants, OHM, and WSP. So thank you all. I know a lot of you are here in the room, but we really appreciate it, really appreciate the support, and we know that building infrastructure truly relies on great partnerships between our consultants and our member community. So we really thank you all for the support, and it's really cool to see 10 firms out here supporting the AMATS annual meeting, so thank you. So once again, it's time for the AMATS year in review, and as many of you know, I try to have a good time with this, and I appreciate you putting up with my moments of whimsy, and my GIFs, or whatever the hell you call them. Today, I'm going to talk about some big picture stuff, and then I'm going to go into recent projects, and then I'm going to entertain you with some of my deep thoughts that are reminiscent of Saturday Night Live's Jack Handy. So let's dive into it. So, money, right? The money fund. AMATS has it. You guys want it. The round of funding for AMATS attributable funds is currently open now through November 3rd. We are forecasting around $40 million available through our 4 programs, which is actually about twice the amount of money that Johnny Manziel earned in his NFL career. AMATS, for the first time, will be accepting funding applications for our carbon reduction program. We affectionately call that our CRP program. We do not call it the CRAP program. So it's CRP. Okay? This program emphasizes projects which help reduce carbon emissions, and we expect to have about $8 million available for that funding. So moving on. Sometimes, there's nothing worse than getting stopped at a red light. Other than getting stopped by a red light so that green is given to cross traffic where there is no cross traffic. AMATS is excited to be conducting a traffic signal inventory over the course of the next year. In the past 20 years or so, AMATS has funded quite a few signal coordination projects around the region, and we're kind of getting to the conclusion that there's like 1,000 signals out there in our region. We don't know where they are. So, we have some ideas, but the reality is what we want to do is collect all that information, get an idea of what can be coordinated, what can be not, and help maybe support beginning to get into some regional signal coordination where it's possible. So this is really the first step. So hopefully we won't be stopped in traffic watching the pedestrians move faster than we are. Although in some cases with safety, that's not a bad thing. So I'm sure Michelle will talk to that when it's her time. So roadway preservation. Fix it first has been AMATS policy for almost as long as I've been in AMATS. We believe in investing in programs like our resurfacing program with a goal of improving pavements and making sure that we take care of what we have. We're going to invest over $15 million in pavements in the upcoming round of funding, and currently AMATS PCI, or our Pavement Condition Index, is about a 66. We really want to get that up to as close to 70 as possible, and so we hope with the increase in resurfacing that we'll continue to be able to see improvements as we continue to fund things. So active transportation is incredibly important to our region. We have world-class trails and amazing connections throughout our counties. From a safety perspective, providing simple amenities such as sidewalks, rapid flashing beacons, bump outs can reduce vehicle speeds and provide a safer environment for our most vulnerable users, including our children. Well over a decade ago, AMATS began incentivizing active transportation through our funding policy, and it's really been exciting to see these investments blossom into full-on community connectivity plans and then lead to investments in active transportation. And in some cases where AMATS is not even involved, we're seeing local communities invest in their sidewalk infrastructure, and that's really exciting to see, and I think really benefits our region. So in 2009, AMATS unveiled a new website, and we felt at the time that launched us into the 21st century. Before we had our own website, we have a simple page with PDF documents at the not so easy to read and say www.ci.akron.oh.us/AMATS. And while our AMATS planning site has served us well, it's long past time for us to update that into the standards of today. And in January, AMATS is hopeful to unveil a brand new website that will showcase our agency and provide the resources that you need in a simple and easy to find manner. Transportation safety. So, transportation safety has received a lot of attention over the past few years, and for a good reason. The pandemic era has ushered in what seems to be a strong period of distracted driving, driver rage, crashes, fatalities. These issues are all captured in our Safe Streets for All plan that was approved in May of 2023. The plan shifted AMAT's focus to a fatal and serious injury crash outlook and provided a framework for our communities to build safer facilities and request funds from the federal Safe Streets for All program. And Matt, our planning administrator, he and I look forward to boring people to death at OTAC in a few weeks when we really get into the methodology of this plan. So I'm not going to do that today, but if any of you are coming to OTAC, check out our session. It's going to be more boring than this. But we really do appreciate the participation we've received from our membership to help us develop this plan, which is absolutely critical to the region. So I want to talk about a couple of projects, and there are some really great projects that either just finished or are currently being constructed in the region, and I'm excited to be able to highlight a few of them. So first we have the Cuyahoga Valley National Park pedestrian bridge that connects the towpath trail to the new Cuyahoga Valley National Park Visitor Center in Boston Township. This bridge costs about $1.2 million with AMATS, putting about $105,000 of that through our TASA program. The project is sponsored by the Summit County Engineers Office, and the bridge looks beautiful over the Cuyahoga River. This is also a great example of partnerships between government organizations that include the Engineers Office, the Cuyahoga Valley National Park, the Friends of the CVNP, and the National Park Service. East Exchange Street, if you've been near the University of Akron, you'll see that it's being reconstructed through that area near downtown. $11 million project includes $3.8 million in AMATS funds. The project will include new bike and pedestrian facilities and signalization, and it is a complete reconstruction. And the project will help promote the town and gown efforts underway between the city and the university. Mayor Green was just up here. The roundabout capital of Summit County is building more roundabouts. Maslin Road Phase 2 south of the I-77 interchange is currently under construction. The $9 million project includes about $5.6 million in AMATS funding. We are excited to see this project in completion, and if you've been down there, one of the coolest things about it is all the work that the city put into wayfinding during that phase of construction. So if you go there, there's giant signs that are pointing to specific logos of where restaurants are, where communities are. I managed to find the Sergeant Clean there after I visited the mayor's office, even with all the construction. And I really do think it's a great example for our region of how to help traffic get through an area during the maintenance of traffic. So East Main Street in Kent, and we brought this project up before, but we couldn't help but bring it up again as the city was the recipient again of a RAISE grant. This is the community's second RAISE grant, which is pretty impressive for our region along. I think Akron's received 2 of them as well. The program, formerly known as TIGER, is one of the most competitive in the country. East Main Street in Kent received $5.25 million from RAISE, with a total project cost of around $23 million, with AMATS having $9 million invested in the project. The exciting thing about this means that the city was able to bring in more funding into the region for a very, very important improvement. And so we really wanted to highlight that. We think it's great that our region was able to get another RAISE grant, mostly through the efforts of Kent and all the partners that were involved in that project. So, ODOT. All right, what are we going to show for ODOT? So I was trying to think of which project I should highlight when it comes to our friends at the district. And there was this funny, interesting internet phenomenon going around last year, and it was discussing something called the 10-year challenge. And in the 10-year challenge, you're supposed to post a picture of yourself, post a picture of yourself from 10 years ago, and see how you changed. At some point, I think a local radio station picked up that there was something on Facebook that was complaining about Akron and the interstates. which led to one of my favorite I really was going to make my own, but this one is so great. Like the Comic Sans, like Dan Gilbert, like the letter will run. The fact that this is not even Akron. 76 East is a sign that's put on there's not even, I think, a sign that says 76 East on it. But I think the point remains the same, that ODOT has a ton of work going on, especially through our interstate system. And I know it can be frustrating for all of us, and the orange barrels continue to be out there, but the reality is that these are like generational investments in our region that we're really excited about. From the Central Interchange, I-76 South, the Route 8 Bridge, where if anyone's noticed, the trees are coming down and we're making way for it, possibly the Kenmore leg getting fully funded. It's something that it's been around for a while, and this joke is a good one. But at the same time, it's a huge investment for us, and there's a lot of money coming to our region to fix these areas, and they've done it a lot cheaper than what was projected 20 years ago. But to my friends at ODOT, I'd say that it could be worse, because this is me 10 years ago. I think that at least you guys, it's like the equivalent of still having your hair. So, take it for what it's worth. Good job, ODOT. So, on the deep thoughts, unfortunately mine aren't as funny as Jack Candy's, which are filled with good life advice and some weird things. Hopefully some of you, I'm not dating myself, if anyone remembers Saturday Night Live in the 90s. As a kid, my brother and I'd stay up late, and Saturday Night Live in our era we thought was the best ever. And we were always getting so excited for like the deadpan narration of the deep thoughts. One like, if you ever drop your keys into a river of molten lava, let them go, because man, they're gone. Just simply life advice that would make us crack up. So mine aren't as deep as that, but I did want to just jump into a thing that I find myself becoming more and more passionate about and interested in. So as the nerd that I am, I'm often looking at infrastructure, and typically this happens when I drive, traveling with the family, driving around the region, and I realize how much my perception of a place is influenced by the condition of the infrastructure that I see. So I found that I've become very disenchanted by what we allow as acceptable infrastructure. We've started to accept rusted fences, unpainted bridges, crumbling curbs, and uncut grass. And I think this really influences how we feel when we travel through a place. We've come to believe that bridges like the ones that are built like in the cultural gardens in Cleveland, like these are the exception to the rule. And I'm not saying that this is the bridge. We're not building bridges like this. But I think the reality is that like this is what makes that place cool. When you're driving through the cultural gardens on MLK and you're driving under bridge after bridge with beautiful stonework, beautiful brickwork, it impacts how you feel about the place. And you can tell investment was made there because people care about it. And it interacts, it's a way for them to interact and feel good about their community. And I know in some cases, like, it is just purely maintenance. And so for those of you that have control over maintenance, I can't tell you how important I think it is for grass to be cut and weeds to be pulled and things not overgrown. But I think that it's important to say that regardless of if we want to acknowledge it or not, if we think we're just engineers or we're just doing it, no matter what, when you touch a road, you are going to change how this place that you're around looks and feels. And I think we need to make sure that our projects are always enhancing those places. So in the simplest terms, that's making sure that black pavement looks, which looks a hell of a lot better than pavement that's riddled with cracks and potholes. But it also means that when we're building projects that have the power to be transformational, we make them transformational. We make them beautiful, and we ensure that they're better than how we left them better than how we found them. And I think that's critical, and I think I see a lot of that going on in our region. We're investing, we're not just building roundabouts, we're investing in what goes in those roundabouts, who maintains those roundabouts. We're building boulevards that are well maintained. Those are the things that people drive through, they see, and it makes them want to be in that place. And I think for all of us, that's a good thing to remember is where are the stops where you drive through and you feel like, I don't think anybody loves this place. And I think, unfortunately for us, we've come to accept that throughout the nation as where we are. And in my mind, like, I really believe it's not just for aesthetics, It makes our places more competitive, makes our places where people want to do business, where they want to spend their time, and where they want to live. So that's my deep thought. But what I would like to do is, again, thank you all for coming. I'd like to thank today's speakers, Michelle May and Dan Rice. I know they're going to have a great couple of presentations for you. Thank you again to our sponsors. It really does mean a lot, and mostly to our membership who participates, on a monthly basis. We're here today. It is such an honor to get to work with all of you. So thank you, and I hope you enjoy today's program.